Hi guys, so we're back with the attention games. We're going to be looking at obviously the check-in again. For this one we're going to play a couple of games. So we're going to start off on the floor and I'm going to just have a little bit of a higher distraction this time. So I'm going to take a sausage or whatever you've got in your treat pouch, a piece of chicken, and I'm just going to put it in my hand away from me slightly. What I'm looking for is the dog to actually look up. So this is Millie Moo. I'm just waiting for Millie to actually give me some eye contact. Good girl. So rather than looking at my hand, I'm actually waiting for her to, so she can do whatever she wants, but I'm actually waiting for that eye contact. Split second that I get that eye contact. As soon as she looks at me or looks towards me, if you've got a dog that's not used to this game, you can just be marking them looking away from the treat and actually going up towards you. Good. Okay. So at the moment, yes, good girl. I'm just looking for her to move away from the treat. Yes, good girl, in my hand. And I'm just giving her pieces of the treat. So again, we're going to start with a fresh one, a fresh piece of chicken in my hand. So just waiting, good girl, for that behaviour. So as I say, if you've got a dog that's not used to doing this, go. You can just mark that slight head movement away from your hand. It doesn't have to be a full-blown look in the eye. And then you can shape the behaviour until eventually they are looking in your eye. So she's doing really well, but I'm just now going to push her a little bit more and ask for a bit more duration for her looking at me. Yes, good girl. So I'm just going to up the duration of the challenge now so that she's properly looking at me. Yes, good girl. Be careful, obviously, not to click or mark the behaviour that you don't want. So obviously, at the moment, we're just marking her for looking at me in the eye. So again, if I didn't want to use a clicker, I could just use a word. So when she looks, yes, good girl. So the yes can be exactly the same, and I try to keep my pitch the same when I do my yeses. Yes, good girl. So she knows, obviously, that it is a cue for her that she's done the right behaviour. Yes, good girl. Well done. So there's a nice little game that you can play. Yes, good girl. Nice little game that you can play. Again, you can be sitting in the sofa. You can just be having some treats in the pot, sit on the sofa and play the game, or you can stand up. You can move your hand around, so you can start creating a really big distraction for the dog, but actually it's the dog stopping and looking at you. So I'm just going to move my hand around, get her to be a bit more focused on my hand, but actually what I want is for her to look at me. So she's got to figure it out, and I just wait until she figures it out. Yes, good girl. When she figures it out, she gets the treat. If we ask for the behaviour, so if I say to Millie, look at me, which she would do if I asked her for it, I'm not creating what we call a default behaviour. I'm not creating a behaviour that she's choosing. So she's not learning as good as what I want her to learn. So this has to be a behaviour that she understands herself is what I'm looking for. So with Millie, she does a lot of tricks. So she is adding in a few tricks in there. Because this was stuff that we used to cover with the pup. But you can cover this with any dog at any age. They just need to understand what it is that you're doing. Yes, good girl. So again, you can change hands. So I'm now going to put the treat in the other hand. Again, building up a distraction. So I'm just putting it in the other hand. So I have to be really careful then, because she was actually looking just over my shoulder. She wasn't looking at me. So I need to be really careful where she's looking. So again, showing her that I've got the treat in my hand. This is a very treat-driven dog. So she does like her treats. And just waiting. So again, she's still looking. Good girl. She looks at me, she gets the treat. So this is what we want to build up to. So you can move your hand into various different positions. Yes, good girl. But the dog looks up. Okay, so down's a good one because it's forcing them almost to really push their head up to get that good eye contact. And I'm just going to build a bit of duration now. Yes, good girl. So again, just increasing the time and building a little bit more duration. So we'll do one more. And then we're going to move on to game number 3. Yes, good girl. Well done, Millie. So look forward to seeing you in game number 3.